Okay, so let's get back to the 2SLS. Yesterday we did 2SLS method. So first, in brief, let me give you some idea that what actually we are doing. In simultaneous equation models, we have 3 and 4 different type of models. OLS, that is for recursive models. Indirect least square models, that is for just identified equations. Then 2SLS, then 3SLS. For 2SLS, the only this second stage least square is not the only method. With that, there is a GMM method as well, and limited information maximum likelihood method. And even with simultaneous equation models, there is a one situation, that is to say seemingly uncorrelated regressions, SUR. These are the basic models that generally we study with the simultaneous equation case or structural equations. Due to time constraint, it's not possible for me to take all these in this particular workshop. Maybe next time. I'm just taking the basic that popular methods which are more popular and more in use. But you will get some idea about these all the models once you will get this idea about the structural equation models. Now, why these different models in structural equation, these structural equations and simultaneous equation methods? One of the major problem in the simultaneous equation models is if we simply apply the OLS method, the main problem was results were biased and inconsistent. This was the basic problem with the OLS method, unless you have a recursive model. That example we have taken yesterday. Today I also show that one other example of recursive model. So in that case, you can apply the OLS, but otherwise you need some other methods. So if results are biased and inconsistent, then before running any model, the first requirement is whether our equations are with rank and order condition. First, we have to identify whether equation is just identified or over identified. If it's unidentified, there is no any model which you can apply. There is no solution for unidentified equations. Only in case of just identified and over identified, you have these different methods. If it's a case of just identified, you can apply ILS method, indirect least square method, 2SLS, limited information maximum likelihood method, and GMM method. These three methods you can apply if you have a just identified equation. You can also apply three-stage least square, but that's unnecessary. If it's a over-identified, you have an over-identified equation case, then only these methods are applicable. Or these three SLs. For unidentified, we don't have any solution. Now, except for this GMM and LIML method, all other methods, OLS, 2SLS, ILS, and 3SLS. The methodological background behind all the methods is the OLS methodology, but there are different steps. That's why we call them indirect least square, two-stage least square, three-stage least square. But this least square principle is common in all these methods. But in case of LIML method, it's again from the MLE process. This method is different from these methods. Now, in this particular case, unless we do all the derivations for all these methods, that's quite regressive thing then. And for that, we need at least 2 weeks, right? To do all the derivations. That's why from very beginning, I'm telling whosoever I receive queries, I always tell that derivations are really important if you want to understand the process behind the methods. But as you know, nowadays everyone need a course in a short durations. So that's limitation I also have. So that's not possible. But at least you know OLS method, right? So at least you have some idea because you know the OLS process, how OLS process work. And now we know that how MLE process work, right? So at least if you practice these things, you will get some idea about estimation process behind all the methods. This seemingly unrelated regression, again, this is from the OLS method only. I'll take this example as well. This is a quite different example. It's actually where your dependent variable is changing, but independent variables are same in both the equations. It's a simultaneous, but there is no endogeneity problem here because only independent variables are different in two equations, not dependent variable. So that is a seemingly unrelated regressions. I think Zellner in 1960s gave this particular method, 60s or 70s. Now these days, most of the statistical packages like R, Reviews, Stata, they are able to run all these models. Besides all these methods, now I think in the beginning I cleared this thing that all these methods have one thing in common, that is it's based upon limited information method, and the other alternative is full information method. That's total system equations. All the equations, only MLE can run this particular method. These are the methods we have in simultaneous equation models. Now I'll take examples one by one. I hope so far. Today I'll take one example of seemingly unrelated regression, recursive, then 2SLS with limited information maximum likelihood as well. Then one example of 3SLS. So I'll take these examples. I thought ILS is clear now to all of you. Yesterday we did, yesterday we did it in detail. So I hope you know now ILS methods. I'm assuming that. So I'll take few other examples from other methods. Thing that you need to worry about after ILS method, if I'll put them in some particular order, for these methods, specifically for this 2SLS, 2SLS, you have to worry about the R square, that how you interpret this R square after 2SLS, and individual significance of the coefficients. The t-test generally we use, right? It's based upon standard error, but we need some correction in a standard errors. Before testing significance of individual coefficients with t, we need some adjustments in a standard errors. These two things we have to keep in mind. I'll take some example for that. When you run 2SLS method, out of all these methods, the most popular method is 2SLS. And there is a reason behind. Means if these are all the methods with a simultaneous equation, then this 2SLS method is the most popular. The only thing that you have to take care is that all the conditions of 2SLS will met while you run this particular method. If it's a just identified equation, it produces results equivalent to, more or less equivalent to this INS method. So even if it's a just identified equation, you can apply to SLS. If it's an over-identified equation, then again you can apply OLS method. So all these two, sorry, 2SLS. So its applicability is more as compared to all other methods. Only things that you have to take care about after running the 2SLS is about R square. Many times you'll get some negative R square as well. Although you might think why negative R square, but there is some methodological change here. So it might be that you will get some negative R square, or sometimes data will won't show any R square at all. So that's the one thing you have to take care. Second, standard error of the coefficients. These two things you have to take care while you run 2SLS model. So, okay, let's start this one by one. Before that, anyone so far any doubt in the methodology of 2SLS or ILS, indirect least square? Those of you who were not absent yesterday. If you were absent yesterday, then might be you don't know the process of 2SLS. Okay, so let's take few examples. First, I'll take the seemingly, Zellner's seemingly unrelated regression. Now, the most common thing about this method is that if it's visible, if you have a simultaneous equations of such a nature. Now, the common thing is here that independent variable is common, only the dependent variable is changing. So it's not a case of endogeneity or this covariance problem with the dependent variable with the residual term. So it's not that we have to worry about this biasedness and all. So we can apply some other methods. You can simply run the regressions, but since these independent variables are common, so you have these two choices. Either you can run a separate regression, means first OLS on this particular regression, then you interpret the results, then second you run OLS again, and then you interpret the results for the second model. But as compared to this particular method that you can do, but in the literature it's mentioned in this econometrics literature that it's preferable that if we run them jointly. If we run these two regressions jointly, that's more preferable. So this particular method, although it won't much affect the results, but still it's preferable that we will apply this seemingly unrelated regression process. This is a different process than the simple OLS process. If you want to go in detail, you can just read this Zellner process of seemingly unrelated regressions. There are only one or two adjustments beside the simple OLS process, but it's more preferable. Although it's again a simultaneous equation method, but there is no problem of endogeneity here. Means it's not here that you have to check this rank and order condition and then find whether equation is just identified or over identified, and accordingly you have to apply the method. like ILS and 2SLS. You only have to apply OLS method, but if you think that these two equations are of a simultaneous nature, only the dependent variable is changing and independent variables are same in both the equations, then you have to go with this seemingly unrelated regression. For more detail, you can read this Zellner's paper. I don't remember this year, I think 60s and 70s. Nowadays, all the programs have this particular function as well. So yeah. Okay, for correlation, like in this particular case, what you are need to worry about is that these dependent variables are correlated at this price and weight, although they are not of endogenous nature. Here, independent variables are only of a predetermined nature. There is no endogenous variable at all. But still, if you think they are correlated, then you have to go with this seemingly unrelated regression method where you will estimate these coefficients jointly, not separately. That's the difference here. Then, okay, then take example of two SLS. I shared this data file with you. Okay, this particular data file. So the model is, this is our model, simultaneous equation model. There are three different regions, then per capita. Let's see. Yeah, this is from the Woolridge. Example set is from the Woolridge. See if details of the variables is given or not. Yes. Median HSNG value, then rent, percent urban, then population growth rate. These are the basic variable in this particular data set. The model is this detail is not given, right? HSNG variable. Let's see if detail is given about the description about these variables. Yeah. We have state data for 1980 census on median dollar value of owner occupied housing. It's occupied housing and the median family gross rent. So we want to model rent as a function of owner occupied housing and the percentage of population living in urban area. So this is the model here. Now, first thing, whenever we have a simultaneous equation model, first thing is we have to find whether it's that seemingly unrelated regression or there is an endogenous variables here. So in this particular case, since there are endogenous variables, so we can't apply simply this seemingly unrelated regression method if significant between dependent variables. If there is no correlation even at the dependent variables, then there is no requirement to apply this seemingly unrelated regression method. Since you only apply this particular method if there is a significant correlation between dependent variables. But since there is no endogenous variables at all in this particular method, so you're not required to do first this rank order condition and then to identify the appropriate method. No, you can just simply apply the seemingly unrelated regression where it estimate the coefficients jointly, taking both the models in a single form. So next, If we have this particular model, whenever you have a simultaneous equation model, first task is first check whether there is endogenous variables. Yes, in this case, there is endogenous variable. This housing value is independent in this rent equation. So it's endogenous variable. So we have a two endogenous variables now. Yeah, yes, one another thing. This is an example of, yes, okay. Let's you answer this question. Is it that we need to worried about endogeneity here? Is there any problem of endogeneity here that coefficients estimates are biased or inconsistent or not? Anyone? Ikra, Neha, Nikhat, Pallavi or Sadiq sir, that is it there is a problem of endogeneity here or not? And any guess which model we have to apply? I think there are not excluded variables. Mm, no, that's not the case. Although it's written here in this particular page, I have to hide first. Already it's written recursive triangular. So it's a case, it's this particular case, recursive OLS. We are not need to worried about any unbiased biased problem. We can simply apply the OLS method. So it's a recursive case, recursive model. Again, a simultaneous equation model with a recursive case. Why it's a recursive case? Because when we estimate this housing values, rent is not the endogenous variable here. So this is residual term, not at all related with this housing value. We only need to worry when this second residual term, this UI, if it's correlated with this housing value, then it's a problem of biasedness. But since when we estimating housing value, there is no reason to believe that this there is a relation between this UI residual term of the second model, because rent is not at all included in this particular model. So it's a triangular that recursive model case. So we can simply apply the OLS method. At least I think there are not excluded variables. Pallavi, I'm not getting that point. The point here is that rent is not at all endogenous variable in the first equation. So if we run OLS on the first equation, so this housing value is independent. This predicted housing value is independent from the residual term. So if we have a housing value here, it's not at all correlated with the this residual term. So we don't need to worry about this biasness case. So we can simply run the OLS in this both the equations. So we not need to do any other adjustment. Means if you simply you have to run OLS for this both the equation one by one. It's not also it's not a case of seemingly unrelated regression. Is it clear that this is the case? Second case, recursive OLS method. Anyone doubt in this part? Okay, so in this case, simply you have to run the regression. Okay, now let's take some other example. Okay, in this particular, okay, I'll share this PDFs. Although all the PDFs of now Stata versions are available on internet. You can just go through. This one documentation, GMM estimators, it's given here. And besides this, I think this particular GMM method is only given in green reference book. I don't know about the Woolrich. Yeah, it's not in the Woolrich and even Madala, and not in this Gujarati. Only the reference for this method is green. I don't know about the latest editions, but in previous editions, it's not there. Okay, so let's take another example. This is from, yes, Clance model. Now I'm taking this example from the Gujarati. Now I need some example for LML method and 2SLS method. Yeah, this example. Consumption function, investment function, and demand for labor function. These are the variables: consumption, investment, government expenditure, profit, private wages, then government wage, capital stock, tax, income after tax, and time. So if let's suppose these are the equations, they're on separate pages. Okay, I hope it's visible. Now let's suppose we have these first three equations, simultaneous equation. So now first think whether this seemingly unrelated regression is valid here or not. Okay, if it's not, then second, is recursive model is applicable? And if it's not applicable, then is it that ILS we can apply? And if it's not ILS, then we have to move towards 2SLS. If it's a over-identified condition case. So one by one, now first we have to cross-check whether there is a problem of endogeneity or not. So in first three equations, the independent variables, now we know from this identity equation that there is an endogeneity here, this particular case. So if there is an endogeneity, then second we have to check this rank condition. So for this first variable, first equation, rank condition is that k minus k equal to m minus 1 and rank of matrix is m minus 1 if it's just identified. And if k minus k is less than m minus 1, then it's over identified. Okay, so now cross check for first, is it over identified or just identified? If these first three equations are just identified or over identified, please apply a rank condition and try to answer it. Anyone for first condition? For over identified, thing is k minus k is greater than, I said less than, it's greater than. If it's less, that's unidentified case. So in first case, what are the endogenous variables here? You have to take care about all these equations. So how many how many predetermined variables are here in first equation? Pallavi, if you are doing it. See, all the dependent variables are always endogenous. That simple rule that you have to keep in mind. Predetermined. Okay, and which one of these are? One is this PT minus 1, then price PT 2, KT minus 1, 3, and fourth one is tax. We have a 4 predetermined variables. Although this government expenditure, yeah, yes, Pallavi, I think government expenditure is also an our. The thing is that in this particular case, you have to keep this variable as a single, like this W plus W. You have to keep it as count it as a one variable in the for this equation. Similarly, for this wage equation, it's the total wage, I guess this WT. They have not written here, but it's the total wages, yeah. Wage of the private bill, government wage bill, they don't have mentioned. Only W dash they have mentioned is the government wage, but they have not mentioned anything about this private wage. So you have to keep it as an endogenous variable. So if that's the scenario here, it's Pallavi, it's not 4 then, it's more than 4 then. PT minus 1, 1, PT 2, KT minus 1, 3, and then this government taxes, yeah, government expenditure 4, and fifth is small t, although it's not mentioned. It's a time here. Yes, so it's again, it's a 5. So we have a 5 predetermined variables. And endogenous variables, KT, YT, then WT, IT, and in the beginning we have consumption. 5 endogenous variables. Now from first equation, excluded variables, predetermined variables, only PT and PT minus 1 is here. So it's 3. K minus K is 3. And M minus 1 is 4. In that case, it's over-identified. Some mistake is there. KT minus 1, 1, PT minus 2, PT 3. Okay, yeah, this wage is now, yes. They have not mentioned, since now they're using wage on the both sides. So is it that this wage T, well, they have mentioned here, yeah, 5 jointly dependent variables and only 3 predetermined variables. Now, I don't know how it happened in this model. Price PT, they PT they are taking as a endogenous variable, although it's not appeared any of the single dependent variable. in this client's model, the reason is not mentioned here. They have just taken is that consumption, investment, wage, then income. Here is the income. This capital stock, that's also okay. But this price, yeah, this price is confusing here. Why this price is endogenous variable here, although it's not mentioned anywhere in the equation. So maybe it's theoretically means for these models we have to understand the theoretical background, but as simple rule like we are doing this price, we can take this p as a predetermined variable because it's not mentioned that is it a dependent variable of in any of the case. Let's cross check it with this no, it's not given, at least not given anywhere, that I am not sure about this price, why they have taken this as a endogenous variable. Because yeah, this is also indicating one important thing that you have to always keep in mind, that while we run the models, we specify this thing, right? In the 2SLS, we specify that which of the variables are endogenous. So if I run this particular, these equations, like in Stata with regression 3 command, where we won't specify about the variables that which of the variables are endogenous. So it automatically, Stata software automatically take it count that which one of these are endogenous. So specifically these type of that whether it's endogenous or exogenous. Now from this equational scenario, we are getting this point that it's an endogenous predetermined variable, that profit is exogenous variable. But maybe in this particular model, they have specified in this research paper that price is profit is endogenous variable. So that's the only thing. It's not something that technically it's from, we are getting this idea that it's a endogenous variable. So that's why now they have a more endogenous variables and less predetermined variables. Only 3 variables they have taken as predetermined variables. Price PT minus 1, this profit of last year, then capital stock of last year, and income after tax for the last year. So this is now for first model, our K minus K is 2 and M minus 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 minus 1, 2, 3. 6 minus 3, it's 3. So we have a 3 M minus 1 equal to 3 and K minus K equal to 2. So is it over-identified or just identified? Or unidentified? If K minus K is less than M minus 1, then is it identified, over-identified, or unidentified? Unidentified. So that means is that we can't find solution for this consumption function. But In the same in the next chapter, this Gujarati have given solution for all these first three equations. So maybe some mistake is here. Means definitely some mistake. Well, we have to count this p as a predetermined variable. Otherwise, with if this is the scenario, this model is for first equation it's unidentified. Let's see for the second equation. In second equation, again only one excluded variable, that's k minus k is 1, and this m minus 1 is 4. 6 minus 2, that's 4. Again unidentified. And same for the third equation. So let's note it down. There is a mistake here. This profit is not predetermined, sorry, endogenous variable. Otherwise, this model is unidentified and we can't apply any of the method. SUR, recursive, ILS, 2SLS, 3SLS. For unidentified, there is no method at all. It's only possible to estimate either it's just identified or over identified. So there is a mistake here. So this profit is not at all endogenous variable. If we count this p as a predetermined variable, then as Pallavi told this, now we have a 4 predetermined variable, right? So in that case, for the first equation, it's 4 minus 1, sorry, 4 minus 2. So two predetermined variables we have, k minus k is 2, and endogenous variable m minus 1 for this particular case is 5 minus, sorry, now it's consumption, investment, wages, and capital stock and income. So 5 minus 1, sorry, 2 minus 1, wages and consumption. So 2 minus 1, so it's 1. So 2 is greater than 1, so it's over identified. So if it's over identified, we can't apply ILS. The solution is 2SLS. Either you can instrumental actually this is an instrumental variable regression, and these three are the methods. This is an instrumental variable regression method in case of over identified, and these three are the methods: 2SLS, GMM, and LIML. So we have to apply 2SLS. Although I have never seen mistakes in Gujarati textbooks, but here's the mistake. Okay, so let's apply this 2SLS method first. So the equation is for 2SLS, and applying by first instrumental IVREC. Let's see if it's given this equation, then it will be easy for us. No, it's not given. We have to solve it. First, which method you want to apply? Let's suppose we want to apply 2SLS. Now first you have to identify the equation. Let's see, I want to estimates for first equation. So in first equation, my dependent variable is consumption. Then dependent variable, sorry, independent variable. First, I'll take predetermined variables. So here I'm taking this pt minus 1 and pt as a predetermined variable. Profit and pt minus 1. So predetermined variables of the first equation have added. Now we have to add the endogenous variable. For endogenous variable in 2SLS, you have to specify. Now endogenous variable is this total wage. And this total wage you have to specify equal to now here you have to specify that this wage will depend upon from this equation wherever you have a wage as a dependent variable. Now here you have to identify these instrument variables. So in instrument variables, you have to exclude the this endogenous variables like here this y, t, they're endogenous variables plus wages endogenous variables. So only we have to specify this time, this predetermined variables from this particular equation. So it's here as a time. Is the time or text? T is the time. So let's see data set. This is how you will encounter the problems when actually apply some model. Time not is the variable here, it's a year. So I'm assuming that by time in this model, the variable is year. Therefore, 2SLS is not a valid estimator. Consumption profit and base depends upon the year. Base depend upon by okay. Yeah, this anyone got any mistake here? Any guess why we're getting this error? We did some mistake in the instrument variable in 2SLS. This instrument variable we have to identify in such a manner that it account all the other endogenous variables to estimate this particular parameter, and I only instructed here to give him year. So that's why 2SLS is not performing, or maybe this particular equation is not identified according to this particular data set. For that command is I can check rec and then just specify the model assumption. Profit, total wage, and profit of last year. Bracket close. Then second equation, investment, again profit and profit of last year. and capital of last year. Bracket close. And third model. Now this WT, it's private wage bill and government wage bill they have given. So I am taking it as total wage. Depend upon. Now here is the problem. First we have to generate these variables. I think it's not given that income plus tax minus government expenditure. Is there any variable for that? No. So first I have to generate. So let's to save the command I'm writing it. Generate y t and minus government wage equal to total income minus tax plus tax minus government wage. This is my y plus t minus wage. Let's continue with this equation. Total wage will depend upon this particular variable and lag of this particular variable and time. So we need one more variable to generate lag of this particular variable I'm very poor to remember the commands. plus time. So these are my three variables. Let's, okay. This command is saying all the three models are identified because this P profit state also taking this P as a predetermined variable. That's why it's saying it's identified. So let's run this 2SLS command here. Okay, so it's saying because of coordinarity, this command is not allowed. Let's apply this, and then in that case, let's apply IVREG command. These are the two different commands for OLS, instrumental variable regression or this regression 3. Any of these commands you can use. The benefit with this regression 3 is that this particular command, that you will get coefficients simultaneously. Yeah, Pulvi, I'll do that. Just note it down that if you need coefficients simultaneously, means for both the models in two-stage least square, then this reg3 will work. If you need it separately, then this IVREG, instrumental variable regression, then you have to use this particular command. So in this IVREG, the difference is that in reg3 is quite easy, that you can put total model in the equational form in a brackets. You don't need to specify instrument variables. But in case of this particular command, IVREG, you have to specify the 2LS this variables to the model. So since this reg3 is not working because maybe any of the variables here is perfectly collinear. Whenever we have perfect collinear, beta estimates are not possible. That's maybe it might be because of this lag, because in this model they have this income minus tax income and minus government wage. So we have taken its lag. Maybe, no, it's not, but that's not the case. Any of these variables creating a perfect correlation. So it's not estimating with reg3. In that case, let's apply this instrumental variable command. Let's try. Yeah, with small it's working now. Okay. So endogenous variables, consumption, investment, and wage, and exogenous profit of last year, capital stock of last year, and this PT minus 1, KT minus 1, P, and this Y plus T minus W. These that have taken N time. So so this is you will get in the end 2SLS model. Okay, now command part. Okay. First, what I want is that first to identify whether equation is identified or not. For that command is this check reg3. After that, you have to put all your equations. Like I'm running on first three equations. So first three equations are here. Just because now already I have taken so much time. So I'm not taking into account these three equations, only first three equations. So just put your equations, then it will tell you whether your equations are identified or not. If it's identified, then only you can run, right? Then simply reg3 regression 3, this program actually they have made like you have this do files that we install in our software. Similarly, in the Stata software, they made this command. So reg3 is the command. To SLS, when I written it in the capital letter, because of this time, that was perfectly collinear, so it was not running the model. But when I selected to SLS in small letters, they omitted that particular variable, and after that they estimated all the results. So now you have this coefficients for these three models, sorry, these three equations. So this is 2SLS. In the end, it is written your, now it's only giving you endogenous and exogenous for only for the equations I have specified, not the book part, because in the book, in the end, then there are three other variables. But it, according to our equations, it's specified. Here they have omitted because of this perfect collinearity. With instrumental variable, the only disadvantage with okay, if we're going to disadvantage, let's suppose you want to run this instrumental variable case not with the 2SLS but with GMM and LIML method. So for that, this reg3 command will not work. Then instrumental variable approach we have to apply. Means then this single command will not work. Then you have to work with the instrumental variable. Before that, just one another extra command, that if I remove this 2SLS part from here, it will give us 3-stage least square results as well. Means for this 3-stage least square regression, this is the command. Just you have to omit this comma and 2SLS. Then it will give you 3SLS results. This last one, 3SLS for the over-identified and just identified equations. Any one of you, any idea difference between 2SLS and 3SLS? If you can compare the results, okay, first profit 17, 81, 08, 15, more or less same. You can cross verify, more or less coefficients are same in 2SLS and 3SLS. Yes, there is slight change, like in this constant, it's a change. Then there is only a small difference in t values as well and in coefficients as well. The another thing is that here their results are with the Z, and in that case 2SLS results are with T, but that's not the big thing here. Is that do anyone of you know this difference between 3SLS and 2SLS? 2-stage least square and 3-stage least square. And if anyone of you have done this in basic in your econometrics course, 3-stage least square. Extension is extension, but in which sense it's extension? Yes, it's extension, but what's the extra thing they have done here? ILS is reduced form equations. 2SLS is when we use this instrumental variable approach, right? 3SLS is yes extension, but extension of which type? Sadiq sir is here. Or Ikra, anyone of you have? Yes, and those of you are from JMI, I know you have already done this econometrics course. Jamia Millia, these days I don't know the teacher. Earlier you have, I think, this Indrani ma'am. She has now joined JNU, I think 2014 and 50. So earlier I know that she was taking these courses in Jamia Millia. These days I don't know who's teaching this econometrics there. Indrani ma'am is, if I'm not wrong, she was also taking this data classes and she took micro. Okay, right. I hear that maybe applied part because when she joined in JNU, first course she took this basis of inequality, and then at that time I have only small interaction also. Okay, so this three-stage least square is a yes extension of the 2SLS. Actually, after 2SLS, we are running two different regressions. There are three equations, we are running three different regressions using instrumental variable approach. But after this two-stage linear least square estimation, if we apply seemingly unrelated regression method on these three equations combinedly, that's a three-stage least square. It's more efficient than the two-stage least square. Okay, so okay, I'm not familiar. Okay, so this is Gagan extension with this Zellner's method actually. He gave this method in 1962, and it is what that after two-stage least square. Now we have three equations, right? These three equations. Let's suppose we have these three OLS estimates. In these three OLS estimates, if combinedly we apply seemingly unrelated regression methods that's suggested by Zellner, then that's the result. Those results are, we say, three-stage least square. Yeah, yeah, again, that's true. That's this seemingly unrelated regression methodology we apply with the 2SLS. Actually, the background process is that first it estimate the 2SLS, then three reduced that uh, three equations with instrumental variables, and then if we run a regression like this SUR, seemingly unrelated regression method, combinedly on those three equations, then we will get in the end this three-stage least square. So these are more efficient than the 2SLS. Although if your sample size is fine and everything is fine, they will produce more or less same results equivalent to 2SLS. There is no big difference in these results. So this is your 3SLS. Then, okay, this GMM method and LIML method. Okay, nice saying repeat. Okay. Actually, now I hope you realize this importance of derivations. That's why I always start with the derivations, but even I try to convince all of you and many others that this course of short duration, it's need effort and everything, but since everything things like econometrics like other course that we do it just like other courses applied, but this software parts is not a difficult, right? Although applied part, like in this case it took 30 minutes to just run this model based upon this book, and there is a mistake here, but still we can run, there is no problem. But background picture is only you will get when you do these derivations. We did this derivation, I don't now when I try to study these derivations again, I don't know how I passed that exam because these derivations are so difficult, and at that time I have no clue about these derivations. I did all the estimation background process of all these methods in my in only one semester. We have this all the these all derivations, then derivations of this MLE, all those models I told you, I think 6 or 7 models. Then we have this autoregressive distributed those derivations, then panel data derivations, dynamic panel data derivations, and then time series. Now I have no clue how I passed that exam, because when I studied this applied part, then I realized that importance of those derivations. Otherwise, I have no clue that what that y, x, beta, and gamma are doing in those derivations. Okay. Neha, this is actually, let's suppose we have three models. Like here we have this, I'm taking hypothetical. Okay, we have a three different equations and we have a problem of endogeneity. So first solution is, if it's just identified, then ILS that, convert them into reduced form equations and run the OLS. You will get the estimates. But if it's over identified, then we need a 2SLS. But 2SLS will do that. Let's suppose we have a two equations. Okay, let me give you this example. Yeah, Neha, if this is the model, although it's recursive, you can simply apply OLS. But let's suppose if we are applying that method, we will put this first equation. Let's suppose rent is here. So in instrumental variable, we will write rent equal to the other predetermined variable which is excluded in the first equation. That is 2SLS with the instrumental variable, and we will repeat this process to estimate the coefficients of a rent. That the thing we did yesterday. But if it's 3SLS, then the results which we get after 2SLS, let's suppose you will get these three equations, right? After 2SLS process, like we did here, these three equations, we have these estimates. In these estimates, the difference is that, like for example, in first equation, this wage is the endogenous variable. This wage is not estimated from the actual wage variable. This wage is estimated from the on the other variables which are excluded, predetermined variables, and excluded in the this particular equation where wage variable is there. So wage is estimated from these variables based upon, and that we, if introduce as an instrumental variable in this equation, that we say as a 2SLS. So when you will get the 2SLS estimates for these three equations. Now in these three equations, the difference will be that your this dependent variable will differ, but more or less your independent variables are more or less same, because we have, wherever this excluded predetermined variables, we estimated those variables from the other equations, and endogenous variables we have excluded from these equations. So now your more or less your independent variables are same in all the equations. So that's a now scenario of seemingly unrelated regression. So when we apply the seemingly unrelated regression on these two LSS estimates, that we say 3SLS, three-stage linear regression. So it actually refine, like I told you in this example of seemingly unrelated, that if your dependent variables are correlated, then apply it. Same is the method for 3SLS here. Although not even Gujarati, Madala, Woolridge, they have not specified this 3LS. In the green, the method is specified, this 3SLS method. But although only the derivational part is there with this Zellner seemingly unrelated, uh, more detailed information they have not attempted. But the idea I got from this three-stage linear, uh, three-stage least square is that it efficiency of your estimators will increase. Guys, I have just 1 second. Okay. Okay. So, Neha, is it clear? 3 SLS. The difference between 2 SLS and 3 SLS. Okay. So the next we are left with this LIML method. This is again an instrumental variable. So to apply these two methods, this command will not work. Now we have to use instrumental variable command. So for that, I have this one documentation. Let's see if it's here. There is a function you can, if combine these commands in instrumental, you will get results, joint results. Yeah, let's take this example, demand and supply. I have shared this data file with you because this reg3 command will not work for this instrumental variables, and this LML method is with the instrumental variable approach. So we have to apply this instrumental variable regression command. So for that, let's say this demand and supply example. I shared this data file with you. So in this case, first, yes, again the process is same. First over-identified or under-identified. So for first equation, three predetermined variables in total. One is not here, so k minus k is 1, and quantity, demand and supply. So 2m minus 1. So 1 is 1, just identified. Simply like this command you can use to check this. Check reg3, then models, and just copying these models if they have entered. Quantity, demand function, then supply function. Yes, both the equations are identified. Even if it's over-identified, Stata will tell you identified. I mean, at least these two SLS and all these methods are applicable. Now, in place of, now we need coefficients for these two equations. this both the equations, but with 2s-less method. It's not a seemingly unrelated method. We can't apply it because independent variables are changing. Sorry, dependent variables are changing and independent variables are also changing. So we can't apply that particular method, nor it's a ILS case. Yes, for just identified you can apply, but otherwise it's not. Like for this particular case, 3 minus 1, 2, and that's greater than 1. So it's over-identified. The supply function is over-identified. So it's not preferable that for one equation you apply ILS method, then for second equation you apply 2s-less method. That's not preferable. Second thing, ILS will produce 2s-less results are equivalent to ILS if equation is just identified. So you don't need to worry about the ILS method. Just apply 2s-less method. So now to get a 2s-less method, to get a coefficients for first equation, we have to put these variables excluding endogenous variable from the independent variable. So I'll take this quantity variable. Quantity my independent variable. Then for second variable, which one is the endogenous? For this variable, I'll take this instrumental variable and I'll estimate this variable from which variable? The remaining predetermined variable in the second equation. So I'll estimate this variable from a second equation. Then our command will be price is equal to price of row and your predetermined variables as usual. So it will give me the estimates for first equation. So what will be the difference here? If you get this difference, that for this first equation, this price is not the variable we are running like the simple OLS. In place of this particular price variable, we are estimating this price variable from the other variable, predetermined variable from the second equation. And that variable we are using here as an instrument variable. That is the 2s-less approach. Run it. Okay, so now we have estimates for these three coefficients, and it's clearly state I will show that which of the variables you have instrumented. We have instrumented price with price of row. Then to get the estimate for second equation, now you have to put price with the price of the competitive commodity and income. That's the supply function. Now you have again 2s-less results, but now see the difference with reg3 command. You will get these three in a one single table with only one single command. But when you apply instrumental variable, Stata will produce results differently. Means although these results won't differ. Let me show you this thing, that even if I apply this another command, results will not differ. First equation is quantity then price P compute and income. Price of completed good and income, first equation. Then my second equation, quantity, price and P row, price of raw material. The endogenous variable, oh yes, in this case we did this mistake. Price I have to let's exclude this price variable because it's endogenous variable. To SLS. Yes. Now you will get this difference in these two commands, because in this particular case, this price is not the dependent variable, right? If it's this price will be a dependent variable, Stata will understand in this particular command that this is an endogenous variable. When I'm running this command, Stata will understanding this only quantity is the endogenous variable. But we know from this particular model that price is also a endogenous variable. So we specified this as an instrumented variable. So you have to go with this IV regress command, not the check3 command. So this is the practical problem with these models. Unless your second equation dependent variable is repeat with some endogenous variables, this check3 command produce different results because Stata don't understand that which of the variable. For Stata, this price variable is not an endogenous variable. Like in the previous case, that profit case in this client's model, we have taken that as a predetermined variable. But maybe in theoretical background in the client's model, that might be a this endogenous variable. So these things you have to specify to a Stata. This is the applied part, that you have to specify which of your variables is endogenous, because Stata will only consider that endogenous if that particular variable repeat in any of the equation as a dependent variable. Then Stata will understand, okay, this is an endogenous variable. Unless that will happen, Stata won't understand which of your variable is endogenous variables. So only Stata is understanding that this quantity demand is the endogenous variable, but our price is also a endogenous variable. So these are the results with the 2SLS method. So this LIML method, let's suppose this equation I'm estimating with 2SLS. If you want these results with ILMIL, then specify here limited information maximum likelihood method. You will get more or less same results with 2SLS and LMIL. The only advantage with this LMIL technique is you don't need to worry about the normality, because in two-stage linear regressions, this normality assumption is many times it's not possible when we run a second stage least square. But LML method, that's not a restriction. That's why here in place of usual R square and this P ratio, now these two SLS and these methods, okay, these changes you have to note that it will produce results with Wold test. Like we did this likelihood ratio test, there is a Wold test as well. So it will produce results with the Wold test with the chi-square distribution. Now you might have noticed this thing, R square is missing here. That's what I am saying, that you need to worry about R square and standard error. With 2SLS, these two things you have to take care. Okay, so for next class, although now I'm going to shift to another topic, that is maybe I'll start with autoregressive models, semi-panel data. So these three things, please note it down. Just read some stuff if you get. Why R square may be missing, or sometimes it's negative as well. Like cross check for this particular model, 3-stage least square we have run. Yeah, in this 3 square now, there is no R square at all. And standard error. That's the second thing. You need corrected standard error. Some adjustment is required. And for overall significance, F ratio is not a process here. Fold test. I am leaving these 3 small things with you. And just type bold test. You'll get more detail about the bold test. It's just one of the another method like likelihood ratio test. Test the overall significance of the model. Like in this likelihood ratio test, I told you in likelihood ratio test that compare the change in the log of likelihoods, and we test that is it that difference is statistically significant. But in Volt test that compare with the zero estimates of the coefficients. That's the only difference. So this F test is this Volt test is more or less the framework is like T test, but it's different than that. That we usually use these 2 SLS and 3 SLS. Adjustment in standard error is required. Just try to find some source to read about it, or maybe just remind me before the next class. I'll take 5 or 10 minutes to correct correction in standard error, because if you unless you have a large sample size, sufficiently large sample size, then it's okay. But otherwise, to individual significance of these coefficients, some correction is required. And please read this stuff. Why R square missing or negative? Might be negative. In all the books, it's mentioned that it might be a situation. So these are the models, and mostly I shared. If you okay, GMM, for that again instrumental variable command. Here you have to write GMM. More or less, it's also producing the same results. So these are the models you have. I suggest you go only till 2 SLS unless it's necessary to apply 3 SLS. If there is some normality issue is there in your model, then only go with this LIML method. Otherwise, before 2 SLS, LML method is the popular method in these cases. It's instrumental variable cases. It's not the SLS method, but this LML method the most popular. But after 2 SLS, it's also easy to interpret and easy to implement, and it's just a improvement with the simple OLS method. Mostly people use this 2 SLS method. But now I hope you have some idea about all these models of simultaneous equation models. Seemingly unrelated regressions, recursive models, ILS models, 2SLS, LIML. These are although instrumental variable models for the same technique. Just the estimation process will differ, method will differ. More or less, results are similar, but it's not that every time it will give the same results. In 3SLS, the efficiency will increase, consistency will increase. That's the benefit of 3SLS method. So I hope it will help you. And methodology in maximum models, OLS is the methodology in the background, but these two methods and full information method, MLE is the background. MLE, although I have not seen in any of the textbooks, I don't have any of the example. I tried it to look upon. Maybe I was thinking to give you some example, but all the textbooks either they have written that it's beyond the scope of textbook, or it's not preferable because of this collinearity, autocorrelation, heteroscedasticity, all these problems, or model misspecification, incorrect functional form. So they have avoided the full information method. And plus it's yes, if you have more 5-6 equations, it will take time to run in with the large data set in pyrated version. But that's not the issue here. Okay. So this is
Sir, can I move?
simultaneous equation method. Any doubt? Anyone, if you want to discuss or ask anything about all these models or any query. So can you apply this practically, like this model we are running? I told you in the very beginning that before running simultaneous equation methods, in every textbook it is written, first you have to theoretically define what is your equations and parameters. And from your theory, you know that which of them are endogenous variables and exogenous variables. Although uh, we also did this test of Hostman test, right? Of endogeneity or simultaneous specification error test. With that, you can find whether if let's suppose if you have any doubt in any of the variables of endogeneity, you can run this test, Hostman test. Or after this instrumental variable regression, you can just e-stat and endogeneity test. Whichever the variable you have, it will tell you whether there is endogenous variables or not. Like in this case, is it that all variables are exogenous? No, there is a endogeneity. So, and for endogeneity and simultaneity, we have a test. So you can apply the test if you have a doubt. Once you ensure there is a endogeneity there, then you have to after that you have to think about the method. According to method like 2SLS, the main thing is instrument, how you are introducing the instrumental variable. For that only you know that which of the variable of your is excluded and not excluded. Like in this case, in Gujarati, this profit or maybe this profit. This according to their theoretical background, that's their endogenous variable because that might depend upon some other variable. But just by reading the equations, we have this notion that it's not endogenous. So these adjustments you have to do before running the model. It's nothing to do with the econometrics. That these adjustments are yours from the theoretical and research questions. Once you are finalized with your model, then you have this that which of these methods you have to apply. So more or less we covered all these methods. Only derivation part is not possible because that need a time. Maybe next time if you are, yes, I suggest you, if you are doing it any research work, that in any of your research paper you are applying any of these methods or even any of the MLE methods, we did this logit probit, first go with the derivation, then only will understand the estimation, and that's only help you to interpret the results. Unless you know the estimation, you don't from the examples you get this idea, okay, how to interpret the results, but actually why that terminology we are using, that only you will get once you do the derivation part. So I suggest you, whichever method you apply, first try to understand that derivation of those estimations. Because when we did this course, we did all these derivations. But at that time we didn't did anything practical. So I have not way to link it with anything. But now when we are studying and doing it practically, then I understand that why those derivations are important. Okay, so thank you so much. Anyone, any doubt or any queries related to these models? And as I am telling you, these open sources now, Stata is sharing all the documentations. That means you have access to all the commands. 90% commands of Stata is now in the, like here I am using this manual 30. I'm not sure, manual 16 is Stata is sharing. Maybe 14 and 15 is definitely. And all these data sets, these all the data sets, Stata is sharing with this Stata Press website. This, okay, let me tell you this website. And maximum of these data sets are from Woolridge and Gujarati or Green Textbook. This is Stata Press. Yeah, data sets. So from here, you can download any of the data set which you want to practice. So according to manuals, they have all the data sets. These are the different models like DSG models. Nowadays, people all started working on this. So you have all the data sets with the StataPress. So you can practice Stata 16, Stata 13 manuals. Means all the commands and details are available here. Even interpretations as well and reference of those text tools. So it's really important this particular part for econometrics. 50% of the content I'm reading from these sources and they are really helpful. I'm not sure about the R software that they already built this open source or not, but Stata now has shared this data set and details and explanations, everything with this StataPress. Okay, so thank you so much. I hope this simultaneous equation will be helpful for you. So just note down all the commands and this content. So next we will now move toward time series. First I'll take this autoregressive distributed lag models, panel data, then time series. Okay, thank you so much.